Welcome to Sitting with Stan. We are still on a season 4, and welcome and thank you so much for choosing us tonight. This is a show that gives opportunities to our legends and coaches and also the players of this season. And you can see throughout our episodes, it's old and also introducing new. And also, when it comes to football, you find which there's only one man who's on the firing line. But is it fair to judge them? Imaphi amanye ama-issues abahlangana nabo sebekhona kulo msebenzi, but uyazi ukuthi mina nawe we just guess on this show, and ucaptain wethu uyedwa uStanley uscreamer wakaShabalala. Stan, namhlanje usilethele inkakha. Ubaba lethile namhlanje Stan.
No, welcome gents. Ngicela ngapha. Then Malesela udlalile ke nami I once called him ku-Sundowns. I wanted him to come and add a bit of experience lapha emuva. I'm happy that even now as a coach, team yakhe idlala ishushaini piano. Any team that he coaches, he forces them to pass the ball out of defense. It's good football. That's why you see even Sundowns, even if there are 2 or 3 players down, they can still keep possession. So one of the up-and-coming coaches, but now he's a fully fledged coach. He won a trophy. Yeah, he won a trophy. And it was unheard of. Ayenzeki kaningi uthole i-coach team encane iwin i-trophy against a giant. Owen he used to play football. Bambiza Rabatol, this man. He went before Maizo, before he could retire, he went overseas in a island, a Northern Ireland, eh? Is it Northern
First
Ireland?
Belgium and then Northern Ireland.
Or Belgium and then Northern Ireland.
Yes.
Owen as well, he won a trophy as well.
Yes.
Is it trophies or trophy?
Trophy.
One trophy.
Yes.
When you beat Pirates. But then the team was still
Silver
Silver
Stars.
Stars.
Yes.
Yeah, Silver Stars. Where was the final, by the way?
We beat Ajax in Pretoria in the inaugural year 2016 of the Telkom Cup.
All right.
Yes.
And okay.
Our Pirates were just lucky along the road.
Yeah.
We met with them, and I think they undermined us a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens. But you won a trophy. It's not easy. It's not easy to win these trophies. Yeah. It's not easy, gents. Once you do that, it means you have done your homework. Well, today you'll see coaches now have analysts.
Yes.
Yeah, before I used to analyze it myself. We used to talk. I had a friend and a brother, Trot Muloto.
Yeah.
We forever spoke about teams. When we are going to play you, maybe over this weekend, then we plan, we want to see who's a good player, where can we capitalize, maybe the left back is not too clever, and then from there, when we start, this is how we are going to start. They think maybe we are going to pass the ball out of defense. No, let's play a long one, let's see if they can defend. You know, planning. Anyway. I like talking about football.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's in your blood. It's in your blood.
Yeah, I even look like it, man. Can't you take?
It's actually Khuliso Rashamuse.
Yeah, Khuliso is with Tondolo.
Yeah.
We played against Tondolo. They were a surprise package, man. They could play as well. They are now co-coaches, eh?
Yeah.
Co-coaches, yeah.
Vincent,
I don't know if it works. 9 out of 10, maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm not saying you shouldn't be a co-coach. if it's good
and it's working, yeah.
And it's working, why not?
He's still a young coach, leading a surprise package in the Nedbank Cup. And also, you've been there, tested the victory. You've also in this industry for a long time. What would be your welcoming note in this industry of coaching as a young coach, Coach ODG?
First and foremost, welcome, Coach Khuliso.
Thank you, Coach.
I am
Thank you.
personally very proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, being a South African and watching you grow, and we talking so much over the phone over the years.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of you. And
Thank you, Coach.
this just augurs well for our football in South Africa.
Thank you, Coach.
But what impressed me most about you, before the SuperSport game, you were in a catch-22 phrase, because now you want to get promoted, but this is an opportunity to go find in a cup. So what do teams sometimes do? They say, let's focus on getting promotion. And that was the catch-22 phrase. And what you said, we will work hard, but we will not forget our focus to get promoted. So that was brilliantly done, and I applaud you for that.
Yeah. That was well said. Eh?
Well
that
said,
was well said. For any inexperienced coach, say that. That was well said.
Just to say, also following up on what Owen has said now, I don't know if I'm selfish now, but the one advice I always give people is to say, don't get into competitions for the sake of participation.
Yeah, just very
You know, because it's good. If you see yourself progressing in the cup, so why not?
all the way,
You know, because it's education for you as a person. When are you going to learn to balance the two?
Yeah.
So the earlier in your career, the better. And I think you guys did well, you know. And
Thank you, Coach. Thank
yeah,
you,
the
Coach.
only thing is to just stay humble,
Yeah, and grounded.
you know, stay focused. There are so many accolades outside, you know, as we walk. Narba allegation, so
Yeah.
phela kokasi, so most of the time ke kokasi. So you know, you get so many credits and then you forget yourself. But
Thank you, Coach. Thank
yeah,
you,
well,
Coach.
welcome to the coaching world as well. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but Stanley, if I can
Yeah,
come in.
yes, boy.
It's funny how, you know, you don't predict what happens in the future.
Right,
But I've got a story to tell
Yeah.
about the two coaches that are in front of me.
right,
Okay, 4 of them are not here, and I'm also going to bring them in.
right.
When Coach Dens was with United, he used to train at TUT between 2011 and 2012.
United what?
United FC.
Oh,
I think it's United FC.
Harangwa United.
Yeah,
so you
but
can
yeah,
find
yeah, the one that played against Kaizer Chiefs semi-finals netback.
semi-finals Nedbank, yes.
I'd come down there to TUT, Laduma, and watch you train. You didn't know me. I was just a young chap. I see you do the SSG almost every day, and I ask myself why does it keep playing in short spaces? I didn't understand then.
right.
But now it makes sense. The principle of defending, Coach Owen. I'd come with the son of the late Makoro of Scientist to Bethlehem. Then you didn't know me. I was there for trials, but because things were difficult, you know, I couldn't try out. There's a time that I came to Tugs when you guys came there with Celtics for pre-season preparations.
Yeah, yeah.
I came, I watched, and you always had your notebook, you know, and I'd watch, and I'd learn all these things. Now I know that defending is the biggest part of the game through you. I worked with the likes of, you know, Samuel Tretton. You know, the school of thought there is different, but you learn something. Sly Musala as well, Coach Kwanele Kopo.
Yeah.
It's more similar to Coach Tentens, even though the coaching is different, but they all believe in a team that plays football.
Possession. Yes.
Yeah.
The youngster, you also doing your job, not thinking good someone is watching, especially at his young age.
Yeah.
Look, we all watch. We watch, but what I want to encourage, and so many people are always, you know, when you speak the truth, sometimes people
Yeah.
think
They don't
that
want
you,
the truth.
Yeah, it is a big advantage when you have coached from the bottom. It's not like it gives you that leeway, you know, to say, no, I'm a good coach. But it is a big advantage, because you then understand, particularly with our players at home, you then understand from the cultural point of growth as a player and everything else up to where you go, you know, because like me, I started right at the School of Excellence, gone to the ABC League, you know, which was the what is Vodacom. league, then first division, then PSL, so I get to understand when a player comes from the first division, I know his mentality. When he comes from the ABC league, I know his mentality. I know what he will lack and all of these things. So you have an advantage as a coach, that as you grow, then you won't have a problem.
You're right when you say when you start from the ground,
Don't jump levels.
yeah, you learn.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy in football. You learn so many things in
Exactly.
football, and there's so many things that you see. Though people will tell you that football evolves, what, it is forever changing. But I always want to stick to basics.
The basics will never change.
They will never change.
They will never change.
Yeah, you can
And
tell us
the best
now-
player is the one who sticks to basics.
I'm sure. How feel when you coach these guys? Because
No.
it's not easy.
No, it's not easy, Preston. I mean, football is a team sport.
Yes.
And you need to be patient. You need to give everyone, equal time. Right. There are players that are special. There are players that you need but are not as special. Typical example, I don't think they would spend, more time coaching Mshishi at Sundowns.
Yeah.
But they would spend more time now coaching Mabena because they're similar type of players.
Yeah,
sure. So with Mshishi, it would be 1-2, and then he's out. But with Zwane, you have to, even the husband don't all their players that we don't coach.
It's very important what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just to come back to what Brasten was saying and what Coach Dance was saying. I started with Silver Stars, Mampati Silver Stars.
Yeah.
So you pay your dues. Yeah. You start there. You learn the hard way. But what's interesting is you learn to understand players and their mentalities.
Yeah.
You learn to understand them.
Yeah.
And by understanding a player, you know how to help him.
Yes.
There are players, I know there was some German coach or something that the player didn't want to look him in the eyes, he was looking down. And this guy got so angry. But in this boy's culture, respect, you don't look a person in the eyes, you look down.
Rural areas, others.
Yeah, so there are all those dynamics and, in our country where you need to understand how a Venda boy thinks, how a Zulu boy thinks, how they think, how they were brought up. But by starting down there, like Dens was saying and Braskrima was saying, when you start down there, you learn to understand the cultures, you learn to understand the dynamics, and you also become a better coach. A player might be, Teko was a brilliant right wing, but we converted him to a number 10. And he became the best number 10 this country has seen in a lot of times. Peter Tshabalala was a winger when I got to Highlands Park. He scored 7 goals in 2 seasons. We took him and we played him as a number 9. We saw the potential there and we just polished, we brushed it up. And to be fair, Sundowns went and just polished their diamond further. They must get a lot of credit for it. But I think sometimes, like my first coach was a mechanic, Brasten.
Was
he
it?
was a mechanic.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and it was he said, I'm a right back.
Yeah.
He said, no, you are a right back. Now, if you grow up with that mentality that you play a position,
you
mustn't play a position, you must play football.
Yes.
I'm listening to this conversation, Brasten, looking at his issues as well. He wasn't living his life where the time at his age where you maybe enjoying your life with your friends, going out, watching at Dentons, coaching his team, Coach Owen. But looking at this job of coaching, I think it comes with a lot of pressure for you guys to give results, also to look at the best players. But I just want you guys to explain to us the pressure that comes with this job.
You have to be smart. I look at players, like, for instance, when they come into training, I'm always the first one anyway, so I get to training some hour and a half or 2 hours before. And then I want to see everyone. When you come, I look at your face, I study you. I would already know, it's something that I've trained myself to do. I would already know, Brasten are sharp. Owen said a very profound thing. as to know the background of the player. Where does he come from? There is this player who consistently come to training late. You know, even when you are traveling, you have to wait. When we leave, say for instance, I'm in Polokwane, when I say 9 o'clock, hey, driver, 529, I got to make gating it, you know. But you have to learn to manage these things.
Yeah.
You know, and most of the time, I go with the character of a person. And sometimes that's where the aspect of language comes in.
Yes.
You know, because
Big time,
if
big
you
time.
if your language is English every time, you think you are talking, you are doing nothing.
Half of it is gone.
Yeah, when you say, you know, boy, I'm telling you, life is all about character. It's all character game. You know, and sometimes go to the language. I try and speak Shangaan, Venda, I try Zulu, Sotho, in Afrikaans, Elekadeng. You know, when I meet an African speaking boy, he'll be surprised.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's an extra you trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a young coach, coaching players at his age as well, same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Management skills.
You know, there's a player. I'm not gonna mention his name or maybe say the jersey number because people know him.
Yeah.
Whenever we'd give him money to go home, he doesn't come back. And the man is my age. We're in the same age group. He's 34. I'm 35. But there's mutual respect. He knows I'm his coach. So one day I said, no, Chepin, you know what? Give me the money. Let me drive down to his hometown. He stays in our village. So I drive and I get there. I go to the uncle's house. You know, he was busy there with the Batuba. Him and I, now we wake him. We're playing tomorrow. We're playing a big game against if you play against Cosmos, you know. It's a big match, and you want one of your top players. And coach, you know, we were forced to play him as a GM because we needed him to be part of that game.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to be maybe a young coach and you're coaching players that are very close to you. Because I think in the team there's around about 4 or 5 players that are older. But 10 o'clock and half 9 for 10 is half 9 for 10. And we actually try and manage and get these, you know, players to come and play for us.
But the other way of getting through this, you know, is to get the senior players, most of the time, to take leadership role in a team. You know, because sometimes we want to overburden ourselves when we've got these players who can manage themselves as well. You know, you get players that are very smart, that understand that this is a career and whatever. And you don't say senior player or leadership because of service in football or age. You identify players that are smart within the club. You know, they can be young. You know, and once we can identify those leaders, we put them in positions where they are responsible to help their teammates.
I just like to come in on that issue. I concur 100%. You know, with you know, leaders lead by example. Do they come early? Are they punctual and all those things? But once there's a pattern in a certain player, you need to address that pattern. If he comes late every Tuesday or 3 times a week, you've got a serious problem.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've learned over the years is you don't shout at a player in front of other players. As much as you want to stamp your authority, you don't shout at a player. You know, egos go with money. Players, football has evolved now. There's no more corporal punishment at schools. You know, you don't, people have got rights now.
Yeah.
So that of shouting at people and embarrassing them in front of other players, whether he's wrong, he can be how wrong. I think you've got to find a professional way in dealing with it.
My approach is slightly different. You know, I name and shame. I'm avoiding this thing sometimes that I'm afraid players will start thinking I've got favorites or some things, you know, because sometimes it can create that. We meet, and you know, I'm also avoiding this trend to go on. If you make a mistake, I want to tell you in front of the other players what you did, this is wrong, it must not happen, da, 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 da. So that I don't have to correct the same mistake from another player. That's number one.
Because they had.
Yeah. Number two is to show that I'm transparent with everybody. Because sometimes you call a person to the side, it's not embarrassing enough. I want his teammates to know what he's doing. You know, if I met you at 1 o'clock at a particular place while I'm patrolling, I saw you, I keep quiet, I look at you and, oh, okay, fine, tomorrow. Tomorrow when we get to training, no, Owen was there at 1 o'clock, you must know. And when we don't perform well or when I put him on the bench, you must not be surprised.
I just wanted
Because
to
of
take,
his lifestyle.
Yeah, I just wanted to take that one further, Dan, just to I concur with him. But what I was saying, shouting, and I mentioned the word embarrassing.
Yeah.
I think there are ways how to tell a player. I think you're spot on when you say, when you guide a player, when you tell him straight, the others are learning from that as well.
Exactly, yes.
So there's a difference between that and a difference between, I was embarrassed by a coach from overseas. I was embarrassed. And even the players felt it for me. And I said, I will never embarrass another player.
Dealing with a human being, it's not
difficult.
easy.
Yeah.
But
difficult,
it's not easy. But I'm happy that you're here, and then you're learning from you're learning from coaches, and then I don't know your strength, because some coaches banally some strength that they have of working with players, of doing things, and we don't do things the same.
The same.
He does things differently. He does things differently, you know. But when you check the ones that you think these are good for me,
Because I want to go back to that issue of ego. Because I've seen it.
ego.
Yeah.
Yes.
And coach, if you remember, you were introduced and announced in a certain team. I was there. I saw a reaction of some of the players, and I wasn't surprised to see you, coach, leave that team before your time. Through the reaction of those players. I was there. So I want to go back to that point, because I know, and he knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, you were there.
I was there.
Oh, okay.
So, coach, I want to find out as well, how do you deal with that ego of players as well? And you touch base on the impact of those players to administrators, to club bosses, because I saw that reaction. So I just want to find out from you, how do you deal with those egos in those players?
First, I have an experience. I had one player, he's a great player now. When I was at the juniors of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
I was coaching. and this boy got promoted to the senior team. You know, started doing well, and now I had stories about him. You know, that he's chipping in even when they are sharing money. He's putting his mouth there, and I was expecting him. It was his first year, you know. I was expecting to be tamed, to be down to earth, you know, and because I was part of the coaches who coached him in the juniors. I was not there. I was not alone, you know. So there's a number of us. I called him. I took him, and I said, he was wearing Sundowns clothes. I took him, and I said, I want to quickly go with you to the Kempton Park Mall. You know, and I said, no, coach, why? No, let's go quickly. We'll come back, man. Just gonna take a walk. I want something from the mall. You know, when we got out of the car, I said to him, you see, you're wearing Sundowns clothes. Ne? I want to make a bet with you. Ne? We are going to enter this mall this side, and we're going to go out that side. I stopped playing football a long time ago.
You're still playing.
Yeah, well, now you are a player. You are on TV every time.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm coaching the juniors. I'm not on TV. You know, people last saw me on TV. I don't know when. But I want to say, if there are people who will greet you in the mall more than they greet me, I'm going to give you 2,000 rand. you know. But if they greet me more than they greet you, don't give me anything, because the price will be on you. And we went. Just as I got out of the car, hey, then say, big Shamo.
Yeah.
And we went. And then the worst part was when one guy asked, who's this one now that you are? Is this a new player? Said, no, yeah. He's up. And we went, you know, more than 50 people greeted, pictures and all of that. And they didn't want pictures with him. And I said, you see this ego, it doesn't play football. It doesn't make you a legend. People will always remember you if you don't have this ego. But this ego can destroy your football as well. So I have a way of dealing with players with egos. I tame them down. And the advantage with us and Owen is because we played.
Painted the picture. Can you see that picture?
Yeah.
But then you were touching something that egos.
Yeah.
And you were there when he was introduced to the team, and
Yeah. I was there. I've seen it all, Preston.
You have seen
and
it
he
all.
knows.
Oh, okay.
He knows.
Yeah.
And those players, when he walks in, they just decided not to watch the whole process. They've turned away. And I know those players. And they know even now, even watching this show, they know. Because now, Dance, if we can speak the truth, they're battling wherever they are right now.
they're better.
But I saw a disrespect as much as you may not like Dance, but he's your coach. We're here to work as a team. That's my understanding. Regardless of the differences that we have, Brastan, but we're here for one purpose, to push this team.
But you know what the reason is? You're aware of this thing when you change a club, né?
Yeah.
And you were with these players at a particular club, or you once coached them at a particular club,
Yeah.
né? And probably maybe they were not doing well.
Yeah.
And
Or you release them.
or you release them.
Yes.
You know,
And now you
and that's
match
what
up
we
with
always tell players. It's a small world, you know, of coaching, because you think I'm gone and whatever, we will meet again, you know. So already these guys, when you come in, it's not ego, it's fear.
Looking at the football back then, the state of football right now, is it still the same?
To compare, man, I don't know. I can't compare. It's just that when some teams are teams, they are in the league because they are in the league. But when they play, man, you ask yourself, what promote you? How do they come in there, man?
Yeah.
The PSL.
Yeah.
It was
And
also-
just on the question you asked, Brastan, it's very difficult to compare.
Yeah.
But I watched the show and I've learned a lot from the show.
Yeah.
And what I learned, it's when there was a discussion about the different kinds of football that was played then and now. I think then players played with passion. It was passion.
Yeah.
Number one, passion.
Yeah.
It was not about money. It was about passion. And it was about unity. And players could coach each other and talk to each other. There were leaders in their team. And before the coach even talks, these players like Bradens sort of introduces in his team. These players then talk to each other and say, no, but this one, man, he's not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it becomes, everybody is proud of being on that field and playing. Not, I've been selected, I'll go and play my game. It starts with the unity in the players. It starts with that fighting spirit and the unity and the will to do well. And a very big thing that I also learned from Brastan is to have the players who will dictate the pace of the game.
Yeah, coaches, I want to come in wherein, I also don't want to compare football that was played maybe, let me say, before 2000 and the football that was played after. But Coach Owen, Coach Brastan, I still get goosebumps when I watch it was a spectacular 1997. Well, I was, 8, 9 years. I still get goosebumps when I watch the Rosmond Cup, the second one. The Fire Malesela goal, the decent goal.
Yeah.
When you look at football then and now, in as much as Coach Owen football is evolved, but then football was enterprising, constructive. You could see players that, are playing to win the game in as much as are entertaining the supporters. I'm not a fan of the past, but I loved how you guys, not saying it because you're here. No, I loved how football was played then.
Football, for me, my opinion, it's still the same. It's still the same. It's the personnel behavior that counts. And what is key is how we are playing football. People don't understand when they say play fast. We need to play fast. We are playing too fast. We are playing too fast beyond our minds. Because there are two situations that you must have. You either think of the ball, before the ball comes to you, you already thought of what to do. This Trentizabo Miguel team. Miguel thinks way before, and there is a time when you must think on the ball.
Yes. Hold it.
Get the ball, hold it because you've got time. Sometimes you don't have to think
Because the space is up
on the ball.
Because there's no space.
You play what you see.
Yeah.
You see, so there is a difference there. And we sometimes we coaches pressure the players to say, play quick. It is not the players who must play quick, it's the ball that must move quick. There isn't much difference. The basics are there. It's just that I think we are pressuring the players too much to do what is done in Europe. We also don't give them time to improvise. Improvise, dribble.
Yes.
We don't give them. Say, mtate, because to have that trust.
Yeah.
Because I would say, take him on. He takes it, it's okay.
Yes, all right.
Coach,
defend it after.
Preston,
Yes.
I also want to ask from the coaches, even you, Preston, what is our philosophy? What is the South African footballing philosophy? How are we supposed to play?
I always said, South Africans can have a way, and that is freedom of expression. Because we are cutting the freedom of expression out. But within the freedom of expression, we must add an element of winning. I remember in the days of development, I was at the School of Excellence, and there were a lot of coaches within academies, and they were saying, our boys can express themselves very well, but we must not rush them to win matches. They must just express themselves. And I said, but when are they going to learn to win? Do you want them to learn to win when they are playing professional football? So it's freedom of expression holistically, with an aim, with a goal. You don't just express yourself. If I'm going to get the ball, turn around, I know what I'm doing. I should be knowing. I'm delaying something for somebody to make a run, then clip.
That's it.
Then I pass. If we get those things, and we've got players who can still do those things, but these kids are sidelined because we see them as Mickey Mouse.
He wants to know the philosophy.
Okay. Yeah, what is?
Yeah. It's in a trouble question, man. And it's not only you who have asked this question. What is a South African way of playing? Especially when Bafana is struggling.
Yeah.
But we don't have our way of playing.
I think, Brasten, it's a question that was brought up by the Coaches Association, that we need to have an identity, how we're going to play, from down to Bafana. I think, it's just my personal opinion. After every World Cup, after every big tournament, there are certain trends that emanate from there. And there's a FIFA report and a CAF report that comes out. And then the world adapts to that type of football. Like this of playing from the back. It happened in the second two World Cups ago when they started with this. So that trend became a worldwide trend. And for us to keep up with it, so that we can compete with the best in the world, we need to understand the international trends. That's number one. We've got to keep up with the world trends because we've got to play World Cup.
Yeah.
But we've got to look at our strengths of our players, which is speed, skill, and the ability to do magic with that ball.
Yeah.
And I just believe what we should be getting right. They say a good player plays when he's got the ball, but a great player plays when he's got the ball and without the ball.
I'm sure he's not yet answered. I don't think he's answered because he wants this philosophy.
You know, if you can sit and watch a match and start counting how many back passes, just take a match and look at the wingers. Receive,
Pass back.
back pass. Receive, back pass. You know why? Because there is no freedom.
Don't lose the ball.
There is no freedom.
Maybe, yeah,
you know,
take him on.
We have that ability. I agree we pride ourselves with agility and flexibility and skill and all these things. Hence, now I get worried when the players go, Jimmy, Itsipi, and they're not even informed as to how heavy they are, how much they should load on their body and all these things. And I said, our South African players rely on this agility. You know, they need the flexibility. The muscles must be a bit loose because we are elusive.
Yes.
We are very elusive. We can just sneak here.
Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah. It's immaterial.
How do you unlock defenders? How do you unlock that door to get into that box? It's the same what you're saying now, where every time a player has the ball on the wing, he passes back. But then it's coaching thing.
It's a coaching thing. First is
when you have the ball, if you want to unlock it, defense again. When you have the ball, take him on.
Move it.
And then bring in, because after passing him, then you lift your head to look Huna Limang in that area. Because I don't encourage pass back how solely the other side.
Yeah, I think Breston, you're 100% correct. But I think, Breston, where we are failing sometimes, where we get the ball and there's only one option, is because we're not creating space. So I always encourage the players, take him, then you come back, you get the ball, and you take him on now. But if you don't create space for yourself, he'll be like this on you.
Yeah.
Like this. He just forces you back. But if you take him away there, and you drop back and you look for it.
But Owen, still, that is a coaching thing.
Exactly.
Because what's happening now is when a defender has a ball on the left, our winger comes to him. Now, you are defending me, Mus.
Yeah.
He's defending me.
Yeah.
Why do you come to me?
Yes.
Because when I have the ball, he needs to space. He needs to give me an option to pass.
Yes. Yes.
But when he comes to me, where do I go now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's same that. It's a coaching thing.
Definitely.
We've done with the serious stuff of football. That's the serious stuff of football and coaching. Especially there's this issue of corruption, especially in the lower leagues. Have you experienced of any?
That is a topic that I do not want to dwell so much on it. I want to focus on building this career. But you know, the social media, people talk. But I was listening to a radio show on Metro FM about 2 days back, and there was issues between Victoria Kellys and Bulukon. I don't know. I listened. I heard. But those are topics that I don't want to dwell so much in it.
But you have your experience as well.
No. No. I haven't.
Coach,
maybe that's happened in the teams that I was part of, but I was not aware and I didn't know.
You've been.
Start with Owen.
No. Start with you, Coach.
Well, with me, I mean, if a team 3 years ago, a team won 48-0,
yes,
you start wondering now, how is that possible? How is it possible when a team gets 22 penalties? it really becomes a
problem.
A thing. But I would really, if you can't point a finger and you don't have proof, it becomes a dangerous topic. I just believe that the lower divisions should be scrutinized more. It should be on camera. There should be cameras there, for everybody just to have a fair chance at moving forward.
Yeah.
And I'm also very much against cases at the end of the season. Then there are 10 cases and a team goes through in the office. Surely when there's a defaulter, it should be reported immediately. Why leave that defaulter till the end of the season? I mean, it should come up on the system that, hey, this guy, there's something not right. You know, but this of saying that the onus lies on the club to register the team properly, I think that is something that we can rectify from a SAFA perspective.
Well, now that the biggest corruption I get worried about, and if it's not stopped, you know, I don't know how people look at it. And I have experienced this in my coaching career in the PSL. You know, this thing of saying, I've got a player, I've got such a player, he's good, you know, this player. No, then take him, man. We make a plan, you know. And somebody said to me, we are not in this football to stay forever, you know, we must make money as soon. And I said, Gwenya, you must delete my phone numbers. I'm going to delete yours, you know, because I'm worried about the talent that is sitting out there that is good. And here we are, if we do it as coaches, we are doing favors to certain people. Then that's the corruption that makes me sick, very sick, you know, because we are setting a trend that will not help us, and we will lose respect, you know, whether it's from players or whatever, because the self-same player that is recommended to you to sign knows very well that he didn't get in
By merit.
on merit, you know. He got there because there are favors. That makes me sick. The other corruption is the one that, because I have been in the lower leagues,
Yes.
you know, and I think maybe if there's enough money in the PSL, we will have VAR sometime. But in the lower leagues, there must be review committees. I can promise you, we must have review committees, you know, to govern the referees. And referees must know that it is very wrong to make mistakes, you know, crucial mistakes. And I'm not saying it's corruption, but mistakes that can be very costly, because we hammer the players when they make mistakes. You know, hey, don't make mistake. This thing,
And
you're
coaches
doing this.
are under threat
You know,
as well.
coaches are being hammered, and you know, responsible people, physios are being hammered when they don't bring players. They don't get their players ready on time, and all. Everybody gets hammered, you know, and everybody must do that. You know, we must have a very, very strong panel of referees that is taught, you know, from a young age. I think from a very young age, not to be biased, not to listen to all this nonsense and stuff like that. And all this corruption will stop, because it should have been, you know, I wish we can have a school of referees that we call School of Excellence and all of that. And we must have a School of Excellence for referees.
Yayizwa ukuthi awuyitholi kahle.
Angitholi kahle ngoba ngifuna le envelope ukuthi don't beat certain team.
Yeah.
We want to get promoted. That's the corruption I'm talking about. Have you experienced such, coach, when should be administrator, club bosses,
Or did he get an
an
envelope?
envelope under your door?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm talking about that corruption.
I was offered in the playoffs in Mpumalanga, you know, and they said, no, you beat this team and you lose against this team, because now we were already, we would not qualify for, you know, but we were very tough, you know, so I was offered to say, no, lose to this team, you know, so that we can lose to us, lose to us, so that we can hammer them.
Yeah.
How much they were offering?
A lot of money at that time.
The philosophy that has helped me to be since 1997 in football as a coach is that, yes, when we were in the NFD with Silver Stars, there was a club owner that called me and said, I'm offering 100,000 rand. We want to win this game at all costs. I went straight to the chairman, and that's how I stayed for 7 years at Silver Stars. because you've got to build your ethics within a club, and people must trust you. And trust is not something that you can build one night. It's a process. Once you get that, you're going to survive long in this industry.
If they fail bribing Brastan, they try other options.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to get promoted, if you want to not progress to the next round of Nedbank Cup, they'll offer you something.
Yeah,
I think that's the remedy is this one. When people offer you, refuse.
yeah. Coach,
That's the remedy.
Have a witness to
We give you so much, refuse. You are earning a salary for crying out loud. You're earning a salary. Why become selfish? How can you get to this salary?
Yeah.
you spoke about someone trying to create space, or rather in exchange of giving you money.
Yeah.
I get such phone calls, and the moment I do, I block.
Yes.
You know, my man, I'm focusing on the bigger picture. I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
More especially after this net paying and whatever.
Yeah.
People call, hey, I've got a player. No, my man. Just tell him to play football. Someone will see him.
100%.
When there are trials, we'll call you. Follow the team's page.
And
Comes around, goes around.
you're playing in this lower league where everyone wants to be promoted to a bigger league, which is DSCV Premiership, and also promoted to Motsipe Foundation. It gives you an option once again. Nama superstitions akhona bradance ukuthi hayi man. Kade sidlalile la. Any option engasiza to move to a bigger league. Inkeshe. Umuthi. Nike na usebenzisa Brastan iyiphi nini ekade nisebenzisa ngoba people will believe ukuthi manje lapha eMoses Mabhida Stadium to the final nakhona ngenzeka ukuthi hayi nasuka eNelspruit ingqehlile.
You know, at first I was so, because my father was a reverend.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never seen Muti, you know, and unfortunately I played for OPFC, you know, and for us it was a tradition. But I came to a point where I said, who am I? Who am I to say Muti works or it doesn't work? What expertise am I basing this on, you know? If Muti works, let it be. If I wash Mule, so let it be. So long as I'm not affected health-wise and stuff like that. You know, the one thing I don't like is when people start cutting and all these things. Those are your personal things, but you cannot come and cut us all. You know, but I have made peace with this thing of Muti in football, and I understand. And I will not be the one to say no, it's not working.
You're an African.
Yeah, I'm an African anyway. So, and you must know, because I was captain at Pirates.
Yeah.
I was number one for everything. You know, when we wake up 3 a.m. in the morning, they wake me up first.
Your first-hand experience, coach?
Yeah, look, I'm from Venda, so
So Mutuko never.
Yeah.
I've seen Magogo sitting naked in the middle of the field. You know, well, yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I've seen that, and as we all know, that's the culture in our country. And if you don't embrace your culture, what are you going to embrace? English culture or Danish culture? I know in some of the North African countries, they slaughter goats and put the blood on the field.
Yeah.
They've got their cultures.
We played against Simba, the team
Yeah.
from Tanzania.
Tanzania, yeah.
They burn our grass.
Yes,
They made a circle in the center,
yeah,
and they burn our grass.
yeah. I just had one or two bad experiences where at halftime, I was sent a message that the Muti man says we must change this one and change this one. That to me is now extreme.
Yeah.
And also, don't cut me or don't give me something to drink.
Yeah.
In the lower leagues, not saying your team you don't know, but you have experience. Ungasho ukuthi you don't. You've never experienced.
I think it's the issue of faith and what
Yeah.
people believe in. If you go to a team and there is a certain certain type of ritual that they perform. You know, everyone has to do it. It happens. I've been around. I've been with Mikado and Venda, Blackpool and Venda. It happens. TUT, we had a Moruti from ZCC. So I don't know if you call that as a Muti or what.
Yeah.
But it was done in a Christian way.
You've been through a lot, coaches, and you understand the culture of our football, and also you've been there. The youngsters are coming in right now. What's the way forward in terms of coaching in SA in our football?
I'm trying to scripture something now, to write something. One is for the youth. Also, I'm trying to do something also for, because I'm always in argument with people to say, who writes coaching courses? Who designs these things? Who designs a plan for South African football and all of that? And I'm saying, I'm getting old, and here I'm sitting and doing nothing about our football. We are sucking everything from Europe. I'm doing that, and I'm obviously going to, with the help of other people, trying to set up things that will empower young South African coaches, something that they can sit with and improve as well, where there's a need for improvement, and see how we can better our country. But also, what is key is to empower our youth. We have lost, we have key areas. We have the goalkeeping areas where we are struggling. We've got too many foreign goalkeepers in clubs. We are struggling with the centre backs. We are struggling with strikers. And the reason for that is so simple. Kids from a young age do not play with big poles anymore. There is no goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There is no big target. They hit the brick, A1 Kostrate, and that's it. So we need to bring this culture of playing with normal poles and having a goalkeeper so that we can establish these boys while they are young.
I agree 100% with what Coach Stan was saying. I believe if we can go, Brasten put it, he started with it. And that's something that just stays within me. You go and learn there. What are they doing good there? You go and learn, you bring it here. And you say, how can we do it better in our way? In our way, how can we defend better? There are certain countries that are absolutely brilliant. They don't concede from set pieces. What can we learn from them? There are strikers worldwide that just finish. Simple. What can we learn from them? And then we come and do it in our way.
Yeah.
The coaches.
No, yes, sum it up. You have summed up everything. I don't know with the young man if...
Coach Owen with the conditioning and fitness, I know. I watched, I learned. He just didn't know, but I was there. If he can get a hold of Mpomagora, he'll tell you, that the boy would come. We drove with Mpo's Golf one, the green one, to Bethlehem back in, I think it was 08, 09. You were there, somewhere around that time. So I even remember the years. And then the likes of Kwanele Kopo, Coach Pizzo Musiman and Semi Tatan Slam Sala, I learned from them. Even if maybe Coach Pizzo also doesn't know that I'll go to UT to watch his sessions. I think it's the times when Temba Mguni had an academy, while at Super Sports, when they done training, it can be with us. So I was watching.
So Pizzo was still with
Super Sports, yeah. This was in 04, 03, 04.
Okay.
Learning, I agree. I agree and accept learning doesn't end. And in as much as we learn, it's as much as we grow.
Mm-hmm. That's great. You need to research, of course, because nothing comes easy.
No,
everything is hard work. Yeah, you want to be a good secretary, you work hard. You want to be a good player, you work hard. You want to be a good coach, you work hard.
100%.
It doesn't just come easy. Everything is hard work. And then after hard work, that's where you become better. That's where you become who you want to be. Where you want to. Yeah, so I think the guys have shared their stories. They've shared their They've shared their experiences. Yes. So I want to thank them once more. Yeah, thank you very much, boy, for coming.
Thank you, Tebo.
And of course, thank you very much, Dan and Owen. I still pray for you guys to be in football.
Yeah.
And to get a teams to still impart your knowledge.
Thank you, President.
To wherever you'll be getting jobs. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yes.
President.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Preston, for inviting the coaches and also the young one. He has learnt a lot from this show, and we want to thank you, Preston, for also bringing us here. And everyone at home is enjoying these episodes where they should understand the coaching side of football and also the upcoming coaches as well. That's why we thank you for this season. It says season 4, Preston, right?
Season 4, yes.
And we are 4 here.
Yeah.
That's just the 4 of us.
Yeah, no, we are 5, but we are 4. I invited the 4, but I'm the 5th one.
Hey, Preston, I'm a doctor. Thank you so much for the invitation of 4 of us. We just want to say thank you so much, coaches, for coming through. And thank you so much for joining us tonight and enjoying this episode with the coaches as well. That's why, Sese Hama Manje, coach.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
May this show live long on.
All right.
Ngithe mangena ku-DStv Premiership ngiphuziswe football. I drink because of football. Ngifike first season I never seated on the bench. Ngifike ngadlala la ngama-superstars and first season did well. Ngenza into ezibhani team individual and a team. Second season ngenza amablanda amaningi.